All right, let's pause that real quick. So I don't know about where you are, but here in Georgia, this is the perfect time of year. We're starting to still get a few cool mornings, but now it's starting to warm up. It's spring, and we're gonna get a real good taste of summer. We're all going to be absolutely sweating here soon in Georgia, but I still love this time of year because this is when everybody wants to get outdoors. People want to do cookouts around the grill, out on the back deck. People want to be gathered around the pool. They want to go out to the lake, to the river, sandbars, just the backyard, all kinds of things. And one of the perfect ways to enjoy this is by having a good speaker or a speaker system to where everybody can enjoy some good music. I am right now regretting that I am wearing this long sleeve shirt out here as it begins to warm up. So let's take this inside, and I'm going to tell you about this Bluetooth speaker that I think just might be a great summertime purchase for you this summer. All right, that's better. As I was saying, it is getting really, really nice out, and that means that people are wanting to gather outside more. They're wanting to do cookouts. They're wanting to start gathering around the pool, at the lake, at the pond, at the river, just about anything. And inevitably, somebody's gonna say that they wanna listen to some music. And you could just take out your phone and put it on speaker and let that be that, but you want a little more projection, and that's where Bluetooth speakers come in. Now, first off, I know that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of Bluetooth speakers out on the market today, but Oreolo reached out to me and asked me to test their Roller High Power Party Wireless Speaker, and from what they sent me, I was very interested because I know that speakers come in all kinds of shapes and sizes. They can be circular, like some of the Nests and everything. They can be like little or massive pills, all the way up to production style speakers. But this one measures in at 9.5 inches tall, 6 inches deep, and 7 inches wide, which makes it, I feel like, kind of the perfect size for little gatherings. And I'll get to a little bit more about why I think it's a great device later on. But this is what you get for about $60 on Amazon. You get the speaker, obviously a nice box. You also get a USB-C to USB-A charging cord, and you get an aux cord in. Now let's dig a little bit deeper. And one of the big features about this is it is called a party wireless speaker. So one of the big selling points, I feel like, is on the front, and it's right there.
Your device is connected.
Ooh, that's loud. I'll get back to that in a second too. But that's right, it has a light show on the front, and it has a button here. It's not just this one light show. You're able to run through 8 different settings. So you have the first one, then you have this one, then you have this one, this one. And by the way, it's not just blue, and it's not like this one's not just yellow. You see how it's starting to change the different colors. And then you just rotate through, and there are 8 different color settings. And on top of there being 8 different color settings, including those 2 really fun like party modes, is the ability to press and hold the light button for about 2 seconds, and it turns off so there's no distracting light if you want to kind of have these a little more inconspicuous somewhere. But then again, just pressing for 2 seconds, and it turns back on again. And again, because this is a party speaker, up here on the top, there is a 1/4 inch mic jack, and the microphone even has its own volume knob, so you're able to kind of let people sing karaoke if you want to, or make announcements if you need to. Also along the top, we'll go up there as well, you have the aux in, you have a USB A connection, you have a TF/micro SD card slot, then you have the USB-C connection, and that's actually where it charges through, and then you have the on-off switch. Down here, more at the bottom, you have a little screen, and according to the pamphlet, when it says blue, it's on Bluetooth. When it's on line, it's aux in. When it displays USB, it's using the USB in, and when it has SD, it's using the TF/micro SD card. It also has a mode, echo, TWS, bass buttons along the top, and then it has your skip back, play, pause, skip right, and then your light button down on the bottom. Something to note, the mode button is for obviously going between USB-C, micro SD, or excuse me, USB, micro SD, and then the aux in. And then the echo turns on, I guess, a fun reverb fun thing. The TWS, now this is where it can kind of get interesting, because from what I understand, you can use at least 2 of these, maybe even more, in tandem to get more of a stereo sound system. It's not just a mono 1 speaker system, and I know that's kind of the limitation on some of the other Bluetooth speakers I've seen. If you pair with one, that's all you're paired to. But if you use that TWS mode, and you've got a couple of these around, they will all sync to your phone, and you'll have more surround sound. So I think that is a really fun feature and adds to that party wireless speaker system. The bass button turns the bass mode on and off to kind of give you a little more kick. And speaking of the bass mode, I will go ahead and talk a little bit about the sound quality. I feel like it's good, if not decent, for the price and for what it is. I've played Linkin Park, I've played some 90s hip hop and rap, I've even played some country, and the trebles and the highs are very good. I feel like that is no problem. It's not terribly flat, it doesn't sound tinny to me, but it's got good mids to highs, I would say. Now, when you try and get some bass in there, I really don't notice when I turn the bass on and off. There's not a whole lot of lows, but I haven't been terribly impressed by the lows or any bass. So it's not like when you're driving along and some car is next to you and their windows are rattling and your windows are rattling. It's not going to do that. But I do feel like the lows and the bass could be just a touch better. But for what I'm generally listening to, I'm not terribly worried about that. I do want to actually be able to hear what somebody's saying. I do want to hear more than just the... And then the last thing to mention on this is the fact that it has a actual volume knob up there at the top. But obviously, if you're paired to Bluetooth, you can control the audio through your phone or whatever device it is that you're using to pair with Bluetooth. It's got some little feet on the bottom that are rubber and help with traction. It's got a little hole here at the bottom too, which I feel like allows you to be able to mount this on a stand. So like I said, you can use these in stereo. You can mount a couple of these away from a crowd and get a pretty decent little wireless setup with no wires for people to trip on. And you'd be great for a little party, a little get together. Now, if there are any negatives that I have to say about this speaker, one of them is I'm not sure if it's waterproof or water resistant. It doesn't really say anywhere that it could get wet if like a pop-up shower pops out or if the sprinklers get turned on or something. But I do feel like it might be mostly okay. But the other thing is actually I have another Bluetooth speaker that has this exact same problem, and it's not latency, it's not anything like that. It's, let me demonstrate.
Discovering your device.
So I went ahead and muted that because I was able to take the volume and real quickly move it up and down. But I have my other Bluetooth speaker, a littler one, and this one, they scream at you when they turn on. They yell at you when you pair. They yell. This one thankfully doesn't yell at you when it gets turned off and unpaired. But when you change modes or something, it lets you know. And my other one does the same thing, and it's smaller. And what are you companies doing that you need to let the 5 counties away know that I've paired my speaker? That's my biggest gripe with this is when I turn this on, you gotta be near it and you gotta be quick to turn the volume up and down all the way so that you mute that really annoying
discovering device is connected.
There, see, I played with the volume knob and I was able to keep it under control, but that's aggressive. So a couple more specs on this. It has a 4,000 milliamp battery. Somewhere I saw, whether it was on Amazon or on the box or something, claims that it could go for like 24 hours, I want to say. And so if that's true, that's pretty phenomenal. But I imagine that's if you turn the light show off and don't do a whole lot of really loud playing, you just keep it at a constant level. I have gotten some pretty good time out of this. I haven't killed it yet. I haven't really used it a lot, but I used it this afternoon when I was doing some yard work. I've used it a couple other times just to kind of play around and test the battery a little bit. So it has a 4,000 milliamp battery that is supposedly good, I guess, when you turn the light off for about 24 hours, maybe less when you do one of the brighter light shows. And the other thing is that it says that its wireless range is roughly 10 meters. So you're not going to be doing this from obviously across a football field or anything like that. You're going to have the Bluetooth device pretty close to it, which I feel like you do anyways. If you're going to set up your speaker, you're going to leave your phone close by. But again, that is the Roller High Power Party Wireless Speaker by Aureolo. And I'm really impressed. For $60 from Amazon, I feel like you get a very great device, and maybe they throw in a deal where if you buy two, it's not necessarily $120, but the fact that you can do things like the light show, 1, 2, 3, 4 different devices to plug it into, or use it to play music. You got a lot of different ways to control it, and you can set it up in stereo. It's not just one speaker that everybody has to gather around. You can kind of set up almost a surround sound if it'll go to 4. That would be awesome if it can do more than just the 2 that I think it'll do. But all in all, this is a pretty fun little device, and I really greatly appreciate it. Aureolo, I'm sorry if I have been butchering that the whole time, but Aureolo, thank you for sending me the Roller. I am definitely going to be using this summer. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider hitting a like. If you don't already, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in another video.
Your device.